Greg Karen, from CEO of the Philadelphia Visitors and Convention Bureau. Thanks for coming along.
It's such a thrill to be here with you. It's another great IMEX season.
Here we are. So tell me a little bit, how's the year been for Philadelphia? You've got a big year next year, I know that's for sure.
We've had a number of big years leading right up to it, but next year is sort of the confluence of all big things, right? We've got convening leaders for PCMA coming in January to launch the year. People don't realize actually PCMA was actually founded in Philadelphia. That'll be the 70th anniversary of the creation of PCMA. So they're going to come back home, and it'll be the 20th year since we've hosted them in Philly. That's the lead into the year. And then we've got some things like the World Cup. We have 6 matches being played, and the pièce de résistance is we've got a World Cup match in the round of 16, the World's game on America's birthday in the birthplace of America. So we're going to host a round of 16 match on the 4th of July, which is going to be a huge celebration and the eyes of the world on Philadelphia. Oh, and by the way, a week after the World Cup matches end, we have the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Everybody seems to want to be in Philadelphia next year for some reason.
It sounds like, and 250 years as well, isn't it?
250, yeah. I mean, the semi-quincentennial, I like to prove that I can actually say that word, but it'll be the 250th anniversary of the birth of our nation, and it's going to be an exciting time. And 2025 is fairly busy as well.
Yeah, and why Philadelphia? What's
You know, I think it's a combination of things. USA Today, the newspaper, actually named us the most walkable city in America. A lot of people have actually referred to us as the most European-feeling city in America. We've got cobblestone streets, but if you look at the entirety of our what we call center city, the downtown of Philadelphia, you can walk from the rocky steps of the Art Museum across to our old city and Penn's Landing, walk across the entirety of the city in just about an hour's time. Our convention center district is right in the middle of all of that. So many big events, big congresses, exhibitions, trade shows come to Philadelphia because they don't need transportation the way they often need it in other cities. Then you layer on where we are in the Northeast Corridor, sitting right in the middle between New York and Washington, D.C. We have Interstate 95 for cars. We have the Amtrak corridor for rail access. And of course, our Philadelphia International Airport. It is the #1 transatlantic hub for American Airlines. So that gateway coming from across the pond is extraordinary. About 14 cities with direct flights around Europe coming into Philadelphia.
And infrastructure-wise, are there still a lot of developments going on?
A lot of developments. Even during pandemic, we had about 5 new hotels built, adding about 2,000 hotel rooms. So citywides are very, very easily accommodated there. We really specialize in medical meetings, life science, bio. It's kind of been with all of our teaching hospitals and research institutions. I think that was the very reason why PCMA was founded there. As you know, PCMA was formed for medical meetings originally. And there's a reason why that started in Philadelphia. 43% of our congresses are in the life science sector.
Wow. And is that because of the hospitals in the area? Or?
Yeah, the first 2 teaching hospitals in America were actually in Philadelphia. We've got 5 learning hospitals all within our center city area, and then a number of more around the suburban environment as well. So it's extraordinary. We just had the Alzheimer's Congress last summer, 11,000 practitioners from all over the world, I think about 90 countries represented, and it's amazing what they can achieve there. And it was interesting because at the close of that Congress last summer, the chief medical officer from Alzheimer's International said to me, Greg, you know, it's incredible. We could not have achieved what we did here in Philadelphia. And at first I thought she was talking about infrastructure and that airport access in our convention center. And she said, all those things are wonderful, but it was the access to the medical professionals themselves, our ability to link them up through our PHL Life Science division, the only one of its kind at any DMO anywhere, and get them keynote speakers and access to labs. They literally could not have the access to medical professionals and science and research institutions in the backyard of the Congress without what is already in place in Philadelphia all the time.
And have you seen sort of a lot of the impact and legacy on those events as well? Are they sort of any one of those set up any sort of office or institute or?
Yeah, well, the follow-on to that concept that was most meaningful to me, getting a little bit personal, we've had both dementia and Alzheimer's affect members of mine and my wife's family. And we had actually gone to their Congress in Amsterdam the year prior to Philadelphia to do what CVBs do to promote, come to our city next year. And in that same conversation with their chief medical officer, she said, you know, there was about a decade where the advancements had really stalled in this profession. And she said, what has taken place on the floor with white papers and shared the progress that they've made in the last couple of years have now given rise to genetic testing and genetic mapping like a lot of other diseases, where they can actually now see if you're predisposed for some of these illnesses. And that part isn't exclusive to Philadelphia. That's the work of business events, right? That's the work of face-to-face meetings, and why medical meetings are so important. You can't have that shared knowledge without bringing together professionals in any given sector to actually share that knowledge, share research, and find progress. And they were very, very excited about that forward movement. So to me, that's the most gratifying part, is when you see a profession not just meeting and having a great time, but actually having progress and affecting people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And going on to the politics side of things, have you, with the current situation at the moment, I know a lot of federal meetings have been, or conferences have been cancelled.
Sure.
Has that affected you much in any way?
It really hasn't. I mean, I know there are some cities, unfortunately, that have had entire citywides evaporate. I think by the nature of, because we're so much in the medical sector and a lot of vertical professionals, we may see a dip in government-related employees or contractors, but we did a full scan of all of our events for this year, and really nothing notable. And it's the beauty of politics across the globe, right? There's a pendulum that swings back and forth. But I go back to PCMA, and of course, you know, I sit on the board of PCMA globally. The value of business events and the value of face-to-face always trumps all. When we went through the pandemic, there were people, including people like Bill Gates, that said meetings will never come back. And where have we come after the pandemic? The value of face-to-face, the value of that B2B interaction on a trade show floor is never going to go away. So we'll deal with the rough spots and the speed bumps, but we'll keep moving forward.
Okay. And sustainability is obviously one of the other key topics. Is that quite a big part? Do you do much on that scale in terms of helping events coming into Philadelphia?
We do, and our Pennsylvania Convention Center, of course, is owned by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's managed by my former company, ASM Global. There's been a huge push towards sustainability in that building, like a lot of venues. Meeting planners now aren't just, it's not a nice to have, it's a need to have. Meeting planners are making that a part of their RFP process to see what's your carbon footprint, what's your sustainable practices. And what we have in place at our convention center is probably one of the best in the country.
And are the Eagles going to win again?
You know, they just extended our coaches, Nick Sirianni, who's broken all records for coaching of NFL, American football. So they just extended his contract, and between him and a guy called Howie Roseman, Howie's the guy who recruits all the players, there's just a magic and a mystique about our Eagles.
Yeah, but sports adds a big thing as well to the city as well, doesn't it? It brings a lot of people in.
We are, you know, Philadelphia put the fan in, or the fanatic in fan. Look, you know how football is in Europe and how fanatical people are about their home football teams or their national football teams across Europe. Philadelphians are, in that respect, pretty European. We are equally vocal and equally physically active, win or lose.
Yep.
And the wins have been luckily more than the losses. But the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers, the 76ers, it is a real sports town. We have a professional soccer team as well. And I think that's part of why there was such an attraction for FIFA to actually select us as one of the host cities for the World Cup. And of course, this year, if you like your pro teams, we have about 8 matches for the Club World Cup this year. Yeah. So it's a sports city.
Fantastic, brilliant. Well, listen, I hope you have a good year, and best of luck for convening leaders and in January. I hope it all goes well there, and looking forward to what's going to happen over the next, to the end of 26. It's going to be a big 18 months ahead.
It's going to be a big 18. If I could expand 2026 and let it be 18 months long, I probably could fill it.
That's brilliant. Well, good to catch up as always.
Always good to see you. Thanks. Cheers.